If you think back to 2021 and 2022, even in those years, we were seeing foreign investors quite aggressively buying China equities. And that was, in the initial part of the downturn in the equity market, and perhaps people were looking at that as a very good value proposition. Only in 2023, we have started to see investors kind of leave the market because of this uncertainty, because of all these overhangs. I've talked about business confidence as being the big driver in terms of driving consumer confidence as well. Then you have these issues around leverage and LGFVs, which is still kind of unresolved. And on top of that, you have geopolitics. So all of these structural issues have been weighing on China valuations. But then again, at some point, if you start to see the local flows pick up, the fact that foreign buying is not present is probably not going to be very material if you really start to see the local flows picking up.
Interesting. Being Asia strategist, we want to get your take on the whole China plus one narrative and how that shapes up given the political situation and perhaps a change of guard in the U.S. Later on down the road, if that happens. How much benefit can India really get from this story?
I mean, this has been going on for at least a couple of years, right? And this is something that we've been very focused on. We've been writing a lot about, and this story continues to remain in play. If you look at manufacturing and exports from the other markets in the region, that has been growing over the last couple of years. And this is perhaps something of a 10-year trend where we will continue to see a manufacturing production bases being outsourced or moved into other parts of the region. We've long argued that some of the other regional markets are just too small to absorb the capacity coming out of China, and it's really India which is has sufficient size and scale to fully replace or fully augment the capacity or the kind of capacity that global investors, global manufacturers seem to want in terms of diversification. So India remains a big beneficiary of this trend. But speaking of the Indian market, it's clearly one of our favorite markets globally, and definitely within Asia, it's our #1 market at this point. And this manufacturing story is just one part of that. There are a variety of other factors which I'm sure you're well aware in terms of why growth in India, especially if you look at EPS growth, that continues to be very strong.